How do you connect with nature, John?
First of all, perhaps by not talking. I live in a small flat, but I don't even have a balcony. But I love to look out of the window, dear. I think that's what a wonderful way of often a first step away from this world of man. 2 very good first steps. And then, as my old granddad used to say, feel your feet on the ground. Because no matter where you are, even in the craziest town, if you feel your feet on the ground, you're connected with the eternal, unchanging presence of Mother Earth. I've had a lifelong acquaintance with grass. I've always loved grass. And on my second farm, there was a very old meadow. And I spent hours studying this grass. I don't know how many varieties of plants didn't grow together. And at different times of the year, different plants would dominate. So that both the big, strong plants and the little, delicate ones each had their time, as it were, when they could flourish. I often thought what a wonderful demonstration that was of life itself, how everybody has their day, has their time. It seems as though the big, aggressive, dominant people have it all their way, but they don't. Their time comes and goes like everything in this life does. Good times and bad times. And nature is a constant illustration of this, of the rise and fall of creatures. They're all coming on the way here. On the boat you pointed out an old dead tree trunk that must have been there a good many years, gradually disintegrating with all the little creatures that are there living their lives as part of this cycle of decay. Here we are sitting surrounded by God knows how many billions of forms of life, every little insect and worm and bug in the soil and plants and creatures in the water and the trees. How many little lives are living without thrusting forward their ignorance on the rest of us? They're just witnessing, bearing witness to what they're called to do. Extraordinary how aggressive people are. This obsession to thrust forward one's ego, one's me, as advertising one's ignorance. That's what we are, really are.
Yeah.
Advertising our foolishness. Water's wonderful, isn't it? Water, in a place like this, you can look at water, but even at water coming out of a tap immediately connects you with something that's pure and reliable, something that's not really of this world. It's relief, it's healing from this obsession with a conceptual world of man that consists of projected human concepts, so which is artificial, you see. Not far from where I live, they've got a children's toy shop, and of course the windows are full of the latest toys, which are these sort of super space age, sort of vehicles and things, and spacemen and all sorts of artificial. But none of these things were invented. And during the war, of course, we didn't have much in the way of toys, just a few animals. And of course, climbing trees and playing in puddles were two of our main amusements.
Jumping in muddy puddles on the towpath.
The way we've made climbing into a sort of a rather a sort of what I think's a bit artificial, really, with all these ropes and hooks and special equipment, special boots and things that people have these days. I was brought up before any of that. I don't think anyone had thought about it. You just clung on with your hands and feet, and where that didn't work,
just do it for the best.
You managed without.
And if you fell, next time.
Your own silly fault. You learn.
You learn, don't you? You learn by your mistakes.
Yes. What I love about your boat, Dave, is that there's so much wood in it. Because everything you got is made of wood. particularly a children's desk, school desk. They're beautiful solid wood thing with the inkwell for the ink.
Yeah, they do.
I think that's absolutely lovely. It was one of the earlier American musicals called, I think, Annie Get Your Gun, was it? And there was a song there called Doing What Comes Naturally.
Yeah.
I always thought it was a very good one, doing what comes naturally. Because people, I don't mean it in a critical way, but the trouble is, almost nothing in our modern life is natural. So we are brought up unnatural. We are unnatural creatures, desperately trying, or some of us are desperately trying to be natural. Unnatural people trying to be natural. So in a way, it often becomes quite absurd what we end up doing, but all in a good cause of trying to get back to what's meaningful and meaningful, really, in the widest sense. Going back to what's natural and what's called wood. And look at the quality of these chairs that we're sitting on. I love wood. I've got some of those nice bits of old furniture in my little flat. Inherited, my mum and dad had it. Mother polished and looked after it. It becomes better every year, doesn't it? Beautifully made, the joints work, it doesn't fall apart. Sitting here, we're looking out on hundreds, thousands of different plants and things. And yet it's all living together. There's no separation, is there? Separation doesn't even feature, does it? Look, the little delicate, little tiny little things, little insects, look, little bit of cuckoo spit down there under the shade of this tremendous oak tree. And the two are living in perfect harmony, aren't they? There's no separation. Separation is a concept of man. It's an unnatural feature of human existence. But it seems natural because we don't know any better. But we live in a world governed by separation, you and me. Whereas this is a wonderful demonstration of sky, water, plant, stone, in complete harmonious coexistence.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
It is.
This is what nature
Absolutely.
gives us naturally, without having to go to school or learn it from books. It's just demonstrated, isn't it?
Yeah.
And those of us who are blessed to spend time in nature just absorb this. It just permeates into our being naturally. Our only problem is that we've got ourselves shut into this unnatural world, which is human concepts. So we live, as it were, in prison, imprisoned in our own, well, a lot of people know what's meant by ego these days, our man-made, me-centered world, which effectively sort of shuts us off, just like a prisoner is shut off from this glorious freedom that's calling us. So really anything that helps us to realize there's more to life than this is like a first step. We're on the threshold of this infinite awakening, this infinite potential that is waiting us, this love that knows no end, which all of us are in our heart of hearts craving above all else. To love and be loved where it never says no, where there's no end. It's a journey from the unnatural to the natural, and then the supernatural, and the supernatural. Where's it end? Yet if only we can just find a way of opening the door, like looking out the window, and just let the heart expand into the infinite beyond, from glory to glory without end.